I think the building itself is dazzling. I mean, most of the mall in Washington bespeaks a kind of classical tradition. The Smithsonian's new African American Museum is actually built on an African classical tradition. So when you see, for example, the stacks, they evoke the caryatids of a Yoruba shrine. The bronze cladding is actually based on ironwork wrought by enslaved workers in Louisiana. Hard to imagine a richer thing for a historian to think about and work on.
I really wanted to bring students to the Smithsonian because I felt that it was the best way for them to really gain a sense of the magnitude of African American history starting in 1492 all the way to the present.
One of the things from a Stanford point of view that's been really most exciting about it is we have a relationship with the museum that allows 2 of our students every summer to go and work there as interns. That's been very gratifying, and I know it's been very enriching for the students.
The museum does such a fantastic job in storytelling, and it does it in a way that is very moving, very powerful, but also very understandable.
The goal of the curators was to tell an entire history of the United States through this particular lens. So they just had to trust what people would have in their attics and their closets and see what people were willing to bring. And I must say the results were dazzling. I mean, shocking. The small exhibit that I worked on is an exhibit called The Power of Place, which basically seeks to interrogate what place means, how human beings make places and places make people, and what that process means particularly in the life of a group of people whose history is a story of serial displacements. So what we did was recreate a series of places that African American people have made, from a women's millinery store in Philadelphia to a black photography studio in Greenville, Mississippi in the age of Jim Crow.
The museum does a really outstanding job of bridging this really painful history with this very enduring and uplifting culture. It's such a rich picture of African American life, and that's something that I don't think I've ever seen before in a museum.
One of the places that's particularly close to my heart is a cell from Angola State Penitentiary in Louisiana, which is the largest prison in the United States, one time a slave plantation. And an extraordinary, rich musical tradition emerged in this prison. This was really the kind of story that Obama, in my opinion, always tried to tell through his presidency, even from his campaign, right? That it's not a story of a perfect union, it's a story of a nation struggling to perfect its union. And I think that's the story that really this museum's trying to tell. And I think the diversity of the crowds, the sheer number of people who are coming to see it, and the length of time they're spending there is really a tribute to their success.